Thank you for joining me today. It's Brian Gubernick, and welcome to the No Days Off podcast, where we believe that every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. Today, I want to talk about antelope and field mice. What the heck am I talking about? Here's a question for you. Are you in fact hunting antelope, or are you hunting field mice? I came across this question in something that Tim Ferriss, author of 4-Hour Workweek, Tribe of Mentors, Tools of Titans, awesome podcaster, thought leader, just a brilliant, brilliant guy. I came across this question. Tim had put it out there years ago, and I believe he shared it maybe on one of his podcasts or his newsletter. Somewhere I had seen it. And I'll never forget reading it because it made me think quite a bit about my own personal actions, how I behave during the day in business and in life, and made me ask myself the question, am I hunting antelope or field mice? What does this mean? What does Tim say when he asks that question? It's really about a lion. As Tim shares, and many of you maybe have heard this sort of thing before, but a lion is fully capable of capturing, of killing, and eating a field mouse. That's pretty obvious. But it turns out that the energy required to do so, the energy required to capture and kill and eat a field mouse, exceeds the caloric content of the mouse itself. So a lion that spends its day hunting and eating field mice will actually slowly starve to death. A lion cannot live on field mice. A lion needs to eat big game. A lion needs to eat antelope. Antelope are rather big animals, and hunting an antelope takes more speed. It takes more strength in order to capture and ultimately kill that antelope. But once that antelope is killed, it provides a feast for the lion and for the other lions, part of the pride. A lion, it goes without saying, can live a pretty solid life on a diet of antelope. Now, the distinction here is super important. Are you spending your time right now exhausting your energy, leveraging your valuable resources in an effort to try to catch field mice? If so, it might be, rewarding to catch some of these field mice, but in the long run, you're going to die. Your business is going to die. Your relationships are going to die. Whatever you're striving to achieve is in fact going to die. You are not going to attain or reach the goals that you put out there by spending your time and your energy and your resources catching field mice. When Tim Ferriss had talked about this, he had told the reader or the listener, you've got to ask yourself at the end of the day, did I spend today chasing mice or hunting antelope? Tim talked about looking at your to-do list and asking yourself, which one of these things on my to-do list, if done, which of these would render all of the rest either easier or completely irrelevant? In other words, which one of these tasks is in fact the antelope? Brendon Burchard shared in his motivation manifesto, and I'm a huge Brendon fan. I've gotten to kind of see him a lot more and work with him a little bit in the work that I do with a company called Place. Brendon says, why, having been endowed with the courageous heart of a lion, do we live as mice? Just a different variation of this. But when capable of accomplishing so much more, why do we live so little? I just think that this message is so relevant, especially right now at the beginning of the year. All of us are striving to achieve big things. Yet there's so much noise and so much distraction. And it is very easy for all of us to get caught up with the small, noisy things that come about every day. And we end up chasing these field mice. And we may capture and kill these field mice, kill this task, complete this, project. But if these things are insignificant or they're meaningless in the long run, we ultimately starve. As Gary Keller and Jay Papasan teach in the book, The One Thing, they ask the question, what's the one thing you can do right now such that everything else is easier or unnecessary? For a lion, that would be capturing an antelope. It makes everything else easier or unnecessary. So the focusing question for you today, as you look at your to-do list, which one of these things on your list would render all the other things easier or completely irrelevant? Which things on your list are in fact antelope, and which of those are field mice? Odds are the vast majority of what lives on your to-do list are field mice, and if you never get to them, everything's going to be just fine. But if that's all you're hunting, you are going to starve on your way to achieving the success you desire. That's all I have for you today, the No Days Off podcast. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, every single day brings a new opportunity to get better. So let's get after it.